When we return, we have an inspiring interview. You don't want to miss it. We are getting into a heartwarming story of courage and overcoming real lived challenges. Mmathabo Sukati was forced and became part of the ever-growing global statistics of child marriages at just the age of 15. Her story began with a disturbing and dubious prophecy from a church elder claiming that God had chosen her to become the second wife of a much older man. Free from captivity and now empowered, Mmathabo has written a powerful memoir narrating this true story as the author. And she's here tonight on Trendz Live this Women's Month. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Candy.
It's so amazing having you, but I guess we'll just get straight into it. You mean your story started with, this prophecy when you were just 15. How did that all happen and how were you feeling when you got these news?
Well, I was 15, as you can imagine. I didn't see any signs of it coming. Yeah. I just heard my mom calling. And yeah, she sat me down and told me that we're about to, get you married to this man. And I felt like I was in a dream, I couldn't believe it. I was scared. I felt this chill running down my spine and I was like, Mom, what are you saying?
Why are you robbing me of my childhood?
I want to be a doctor. I'm a top performer at school, top of the class always. So why, what are you saying? So I was scared, I was anxious, I was in a dream. I felt like somebody would wake me up and say, no, this is a dream, don't worry.
This is your reality.
Kanti, it's a reality.
Now you're in it, right? How does that experience go with this man that is now your husband, that you have now kids with?
Well, at the time, I ran away from home. I mean, you will see when you read the book. I ran away from home trying to escape all of this. And people who were supporting me from the community felt happy when they heard that I ran away and they thought maybe this won't happen. But then I came back thinking I'm just going to collect my clothes and went back to go back to boarding school. And that's when I was, locked up into my room and, I was forced then into this marriage. And the relationship with the man was very difficult because, he was much older and here I am, 15-year-old and having to deal with this man. It was very challenging, very emotional, very...
Yeah, but it's fine because you speak about it in the book and people must go buy it so that they can read more about the story. But, you did speak about recurring suicidal thoughts throughout the book. So what gave you the courage, 40 years later to say, no, I'm going to tell my story because it's so personal and now you're making it public?
Yes, because I still read a lot about it. I see articles that are written about child marriages. I watched a video, for example, or a documentary that talks about child marriages in another country. And I read about articles, of child marriages happening all the way up the continent. But I don't hear people talking about it. So the book is really to get that conversation going, to get people talking about how to end child marriages, because it's a form of, GBV as well.
Yes.
So there's women who are still stuck in, they were married off younger, and they're still stuck in there, and there are girls who are still going through it even today.
So for you, it's like, let me take back my power, but also use this book, hopefully, to educate and provide advocacy. I do want to touch on this, though. There's a quote that captures the spirit of the book where you say, the girl who was once the epitome of shattered dreams and deferred destiny has held executive roles in a number of prestigious corporate firms. And that obviously is an extraordinary line that shows that you went from captive to free. How did that happen? Because surely there must be a life-changing decision or that pivotal moment that propels you to where you are now.
Remember, I was forced into this. I didn't want that life. So according to me, I couldn't stay in there. I needed to find a way to to leave that setup. I don't call it a marriage, but people call it a marriage. So I needed to find a way to escape. And because I had now had children, I wanted to protect my daughters from going through the same thing. So I decided I'm going to fight, to be free, financially free, emotionally free. So that's why I decided to go back to school and worked my way up, became a chartered accountant and worked as a corporate executive.
Yes, you even have an MBA. Look at that.
Exactly.
Not letting this define you whatsoever.
Yes. And also I wanted to be emotionally free, and for me to be able to go back to school, it was so that I can stay focused. I needed to forgive. Some people asked for forgiveness after I went back to school, and I forgave everybody. I forgave my parents. I forgave the people that were involved. But there's people who were at the center of this who never apologized, but I learned to accept an apology that never came so that I can release myself from the situation and move forward and focus on my dreams and my goals and raising my children.
And you've done such an amazing job at that. I mean, you are a true testament of just not letting your circumstances be the end of it all for you. But, we're living in a country where GBV is quite high in South Africa. There's also obviously girls that also are experiencing this, like you did say earlier on. So how do you hope this book really impacts them and speaks to them?
I hope this book, it will be seen as a voice, for the millions of girls that are still going through this today. I hope this book will bring light into the darkness that these girls face every day, especially those that are already in that setup. I hope this book will get communities, churches, and political parties to talk about child marriages and to find ways and policies to bring it to an end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it also shaped your views on love and trust and just, your identity, especially being somebody in corporate as well as a mother. And I can't imagine that writing this book, there was ever anything that was easy about it, because now you're going back, you're tapping into trauma, but somehow you've overcome it. So there's obviously girls at home watching right now. What would you say to them, and especially, or rather specifically, to the young girl that you write about in the early chapters of this book?
I would say, girl, your voice matters. You are not defined by the circumstances that were created for you. You are the only one that can make your dreams come true. So I would say your dreams are valid. So I would say fight, don't give up, and let that light that is shining bright inside of you, allow it to break through, to come out so that it can shine and the world can see it and receive it.
Sure.
So I would encourage the girls not to give up, but let this book, let this story bring you that hope,
Oh, thank you so much, Mmathabo. I mean, this has been so beautiful. It's been personal, and you've been able to be vulnerable with us, and that's something that we appreciate here on Trendz Live. And we are so proud of you for this book and just kind of fighting against all odds.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the discussion.
Yes. Man, I mean, this is such a touching story, but at least it just shows you that so much is happening in our country, but we can also overcome so many things. A true testament to just the epitome of strength, because she went from captivity to courageous. And on that note, we say once again, thank you.